Let's get you some more global stories, and the biggest talking point this morning is the US Q3 GDP numbers, which has come in lower than in the expectation. Now, the US economy that have posted yet another disappointing period of growth in the third quarter, largely propelled by strong consumer spending that has defied expectation for a slowdown. Now, gross domestic product means GDP during these 3 months period from July through September, that has increased at a 2.8% annualized rate, whereas expectation with what economists were penciling in, they were expecting an increase of 3.1%. Remember, in the second quarter also, the growth stood at 3%. So we have fallen short of last quarter's growth. Now, the report confirms that the US expansion has continued despite elevated interest rates and even long-standing worries that the burst of fiscal and monetary stimulus that carried the economy through the COVID crisis, that would not be enough to sustain the growth now. So it looks like a concerning factor, hence what weighted on the markets.
Absolutely. And it's a very important metric to watch out for as well, and has a very understandable reaction on the way Wall Street has reacted today. But let's also shift focus to earnings and get into detail of the Meta as well as Microsoft earnings. Now, Facebook parent Meta delivered a weaker than expected Q3 number and warned of significant acceleration in its infrastructure expenses in 2025. Sales were up 19%, while net income grew 35% year over year, representing the company's lowest year-on-year growth since the second quarter of 2023. Meanwhile, let's shift focus, talk about Microsoft as well. That has reported a beat on Q3 earnings for the fiscal first quarter. However, the stock plunged despite the beat as the company forecasted slower growth going forward.
Alright, keeping it with earnings only, Samsung Electronics, that one has reported a mild beat on Q3 sales and even operating profits. However, company's chip business, that took a hit, posting a sharply lower profit versus the previous quarter. Now, the semiconductor unit, that one delivered a decline of 40% versus the previous quarter.
Okay, let's also keep it going with earnings once more and talk about Starbucks, because the global coffee chain has reported a miss on revenue estimates for the third quarter on the back of disappointing sales from the US as well as Chinese markets. These earnings, remember, mark the first under newly appointed CEO Brian Niccol, and Niccol has outlined a multi-part plan to improve the company's US business immediately.
Okay, shifting focus to some important comments also. Post-election state of America, that worries now US billionaire Ray Dalio, who called for reforms numerous times amid a political landscape rift with what he views as irreconcilable differences between both Democratic as well as Republican parties. Now, speaking at the Future Investment Initiative conference that held in Saudi Arabia, the founder of the investment firm Bridgewater Associates spoke about major geopolitical as well as the election-related concerns. The issue of rising US deficit as well as how investors can best position their portfolios were the main talking points.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.